Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Connect here, coming to you guys with a new video. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and let's go get started. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a new text effect. It's actually a really nice text effect that can be utilized in a lot of different ways. And yeah guys, hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and let's going to jump right into it. So to create this text effect, go up to File, New to create a new document, or Control N. Now, what we're going to be doing in the settings panel is we're actually going to be changing a few things. You can actually rename this document to whatever you'd like. I'm going to name it Cool Text Effect. Now, we're going to make the width 1280 and the height 720. I have the resolution set to 300 or DPI because I really like working around 300 DPI. I feel like that works out the best for me. But you can actually change this to 60 or 70, whatever you prefer. And the color mode is set to RGB, because if we set this grayscale or CMYK, those are for two different types of documents. Grayscale would actually change everything to maybe like a gray or white or black, and CMYK is more for if you're printing the document. So if you actually are planning on printing this out, go ahead and change this document color mode to CMYK, but we're going to be keeping it to RGB. Go ahead and click OK, and we're going to get started. So to get started with this new text effect, we're actually going to create a new text layer. Now to create a new text layer, go to our tools panel, click on the text tool, and then go and click anywhere inside the document to create a new text layer. Now with the new text layer created, we're actually going to type in whatever you'd like. Well, you guys can go ahead and type whatever you'd like. I'm going to be typing in my name, which is Skyler. Now if you guys want the same font that I have, the download link will be in the description. The font is American Captain Regular, and I have the height set to 50 pixels. Now we're gonna go ahead and try to center the text the best we can. Now if you guys are really OCD about this, which I can be at times, you can actually pull up the rulers by pressing Control R, and then we're gonna make some new guidelines. Now to make a guideline, go ahead and left click and hold, and then drag down to create a new guideline, and this should snap wherever the middle of the document is. That should be good. And then go to the left ruler and then move to the right, and it should snap wherever the center of the document is. And there we go. Now we can go and center our text by using the move tool. And that looks like it's going to work out well. Now to get rid of the guidelines, just going to push Control H to hide them, and then push Control R to hide the rulers. Now with our text center, we're actually going to create 4 cuts out of our text effect, or not text effect, out of our text layer. Now to create 4 cuts, we're actually going to go up to the rectangle marquee tool in our tools panel again, and then go ahead and create a new rectangle selection. Now we're going to actually make this so it holds part of our text, but not the entire thing. We're actually going to make it maybe like, I guess, 25% of our text. And now with that part of our text selected, we're actually going to push Control C and then Control V. Now this will actually make the cut part, or the selected part of our text that we had selected with the rectangle marquee tool, into a new layer. Now we're actually going to rename this layer to Cut 1. Now to rename any layer in your layers panel, all you have to do is double click the name, and then you can actually rename it from there. Now push enter to save. Now if you guys don't want to rename it, you don't have to, but I want to rename it so we can stay organized. Now move this over a little bit so we don't get these 2 layers mixed up, which I can at times. And then just go ahead and double click this to open up the blending options. If this doesn't work for you, you can actually right click the layer and then click on blending options. And then once you have the blending options open, go to color overlay, and now we're going to actually change up this is actually where you change up the colors. Now this is actually optional for whatever preference you have. I'm going to go ahead and stay with a really light tinted color, a light tone, because I really think that works out well for this text effect, and I actually really like it. Now if you guys want to copy the same type of colors that I'm using, the hex code for this is actually FF5858. Now go ahead and press OK, and then go ahead and press OK again. And now as you can see, our text of our, I guess, new layer, Cut 1, has changed because we added the blending options. Go ahead and minimize this by pressing the up black arrow. Now drag this down and line it up with the top of our text. I'm actually going to line this up with using the up, down, and left, right arrow keys. You can actually use these arrow keys to line it up just down to the specific inch or millimeter, I guess you would call it. And then once you have it lined up to your satisfaction, now the reason why we're actually blending or coloring these as we go is because I actually wanted to use these so we can actually reference these and see where we need to make our next selection. So now with the first cut made, you can actually repeat the same steps and make the second, third, and fourth cut the same way. The color here we're using is actually going to be maybe like a light green. If you guys didn't see, I used the color picker to actually get the same tint from the first color, and now I'm going to change this by using the hex, I guess, slider, that's what I like to call it, and just slide up to maybe a green, and I'm actually going to make this maybe like a lime green. The hex code for this is 93FF58. Go ahead and press OK, go ahead and press OK, and then just go to line this up on our text and continue to our third selection. Now, if you guys didn't see, the hex code I used for this was actually 58FFE5. If you guys are wanting to follow along with the color scheme that I'm going with. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is completely optional, so you guys can change this to whatever color you like, but I'm going to keep it as maybe like a light tint type of, I guess, theme. Now, if you guys didn't notice, I went ahead and renamed these two layers to Cut 2 and Cut 3. So if you guys want to stay organized with your layers and don't get them mixed up, go ahead and rename those. So, yeah, guys, go ahead and continue with your fourth and final cut. So yeah, guys, the color I'm going to be using here is going to be FF58ED. I'm going to press OK. Okay, guys, now with all your cuts made, we're actually almost done with the effect. But yeah, if you guys want to continue on with the effect and get the final result that I have here, you guys can continue on. But yeah, guys, this is basically the base effect for this tutorial. So yeah. I'm going to go ahead and rename this to Cut 4 just so we can stay organized. Now what we're going to do here is actually in the original text document, I kind of have these layers split up, as you guys can see here. So to get that same effect, I'm actually going to move these kind of off to the side so we can just keep them oriented. Now I'm going to go ahead and hide our original text layer and then go to the second cut and kind of line this up. You guys can use the arrow keys to kind of move it around. I guess my other videos stopped kind of trying to figure it out. Oh, there we go. I guess hit there. But anyways, guys, back to this tutorial. To line this up, actually just use the arrow keys and yeah. And then once you have it positioned the way you want, kind of move this off to the right. Go ahead and move on to your third cut by selecting layer and this is where it really comes in handy when you rename these layers to actually stay organized. So yeah, once you have this positioned correctly, go ahead and move on to your fourth layer, and then go ahead and reposition that. Now, one tip, guys, try to keep this legible as possible. If you have this like moved over to the right over here and then move this over to the left, as you guys can see, you really can't read that. So try your best to try to keep this legible, because if you have this non-legible and you can't really read it, there's no real point in actually trying to make this text effect, because as it is a really cool text effect, it's really important that you guys keep it legible and get your base point across. So yeah, once you have this positioned the way you want, go ahead and make the back layer visible. Now this is actually how I made the drop shadow that you guys saw in the original file. To position this correctly, all you have to use the move tool, and I actually kind of positioned this kind of like the light would be up here at the top shining down, and then the drop shadow would be kind of positioned under the text. Well, not like it's already under the text, like below the text, as you guys can see here. Now if you want to cut out part of the drop shadow like I have in the original file, as you guys can see between the layers, I kind of have the drop shadow cut out. What you can do is actually using the elliptical marquee tool. Now if you guys want to change this up, You guys need to do that now, because after this we're actually going to rasterize our type, which will change, rasterize our layer, which will change this into an editable layer. We will keep our blending options so you guys can change that whenever you want, but you actually can't change what the text actually says. So we're going to go ahead and press check mark if you guys outlined that, but I doubt you did. But yeah guys, all we're going to do here is actually right click and go to rasterize type. And as you guys can see, this is actually an editable layer, but as you guys can see, this is not a text layer anymore. So we cannot change what the actual text says, but we're going to be using it as a drop shadow, so that doesn't really matter. So what we're going to be doing now is actually go up to our rectangle marquee tool, zoom in here, and actually zoom out a little bit, and then go ahead and try your best to line this selection up with the bottom of our first cut. And then make a selection in between our second and first cut, and now all you're going to do is press Ctrl X, and that actually will delete that portion of our drop shadow. And then go ahead and repeat that step in the third and fourth bit that we have here. Okay guys, once you're done with that, go ahead and zoom back out. And I forgot to mention the zoom in and out. Go ahead and press Ctrl plus to zoom in, Ctrl minus to zoom out. Now once you have the drop shadow made, as you guys can see here, this is actually almost the final effect that I have here. To add the vintage layer that I have going around the text, and I kind of added like a red tint, go ahead and double click on our background layer, push OK to make this into a new layer, and then double click this, open up the blending options, go to color overlay, and I actually used maybe like a light tinted red-ish color. Now to copy the same exact hex code that I'm using here, or same exact color, just copy the hex code that I have here, which is FFDBDB, and go ahead and press OK. Press OK again. Now to add the vintage layer, go ahead and press new layer. Go up to our elliptical marquee tool, go up to our top left hand corner, drag this down to our bottom right hand corner, which will create a new elliptical marquee selection. Press Ctrl Shift I to invert the selection. Go ahead and fill this in with the paint bucket tool. If the paint bucket tool isn't here on your tools panel, go ahead and left click and hold. As you guys can see, it might be the gradient tool, and now you can select the paint bucket tool. Go ahead and fill this in. Press Ctrl D. Now what we're going to do is go up to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. Now I already have this set to 180 pixels. Go ahead and change this. The default might be like 20 or something, but go ahead and change it to 180 pixels, because that will give us a really nice vintage layer. I'm going to press OK, and then change this to maybe vintage, just so we can stay organized in future preferences. Maybe change this to background. And there you guys go. Oh, you have it. I actually think I changed the vintage layer to maybe a lower opacity because I didn't like it as dark. And yeah, if you change the opacity maybe like 50% or 75%, I'm probably going to leave it as 50. You get a really nice light vintage that adds a really nice depth to your layer. But yeah guys, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Hopefully you learned a lot, and hopefully I see you guys in future tutorials and videos. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And yeah guys, see you later.